what are the 6 things that really represent like the relationship we want to have? But then it also is an exercise in saying like, hey, when we have to make decisions together, what is easy, what is difficult? And so we're going to see a little bit about that today between the two of us, of like, what are our 6 words? And then what's it like for us to come to those 6 words?
Hello all, and welcome to the Relationship Renovation Podcast. I'm Tara Kerwin.
And my name is EJ Kerwin.
And today?
Well, today so a couple episodes ago, we had an episode that talked about setting an intention for the year. You know, that you and your partner get together and you say, hey, this is going to be the year for us. This is the year of wholeness. In other years, it's been the year of focus.
The year of healthy coping skills.
The year of healthy coping skills. Like, we've had these themes, but we have an exercise that we have every couple that works within our program here at our center in Tucson or in our Relationship Renovation at Home program. It's an exercise called the 6 words.
The 6 words. And couples love when we take some of our lessons, exercises out of our book and kind of go through it, because it kind of models like, this is how we're going to talk to each other. This is how deep it can go, because some couples will just say 6 words and not have this discussion around it. And again, the idea is we are getting in the taxi cab of love, as EJ would say. We're not calling a taxi and saying, oh, we don't want to go here and we don't want to go here. We are saying we want to go here. And so whether it's that intention of the year, the word of the year, or developing your 6 words, EJ is saying we have our couples do this very early on in couples counseling, because most couples come in a state of crisis or just feeling very powerless and helpless. And just like having these 6 words feels like I have something to attach to, and we're both sharing that same vision. And so we actually have to develop 6 words for ourselves for 2024. You don't have to do this every year. You can change it as it is. But I feel like with our new year of wholeness, that 6 new words, some might be repeating. So we're going to kind of go through this exercise, and now you can even see us do this on video on our YouTube. So it's kind of cool. And
I think what this does is 2 things. And this is another concept that we come back to over and over and over again, is content and process, right? That there's what you're talking about, and then there's how you're talking about it. So this exercise, why we do it so early in our program, is it provides the content of what are the 6 things that really represent like the relationship we want to have. But then it also is an exercise in saying like, hey, when we have to make decisions together, what is easy, what is difficult? And so we're going to see a little bit about that today between the two of us, of like, what are our 6 words? And then what's it like for us to come to those 6 words?
And you might see us get a little wobbly. Like, we haven't done this in a while. And so it's clunky. This might happen for you too. Again, one of the reasons we introduce this early is because it feels a little more playful and light, and in a direction where we want to go instead of where we don't want to go. Couples know where they don't want to go. They have a very hard time sometimes, like where we do want to go. And
it's funny because sometimes we've told couples to do this, and they come back and they're like, okay, well, I did my 3 words and they did their 3 words.
Or they did 6 words a piece and now there's 12 words. I'm like, that's too many words.
Yes. And so this exercise is about coming up with those 6 words together.
This is our little workbook. So I'm just going to open the page and read the little blurb that we have. I did a little post-it in there.
All right.
Okay. This is actually exercise 3 in our program. So write down 6 words that you want your relationship to feel after your journey here at our center is complete, or your at-home journey is complete. These 6 words should be developed together with a nice balance of how you want to experience your relationship. This is important, everybody. Please put these words up in your home where they can be your daily reminder of what you are cultivating in your relationship. We find a whiteboard in the kitchen, bathroom mirror, or refrigerator are excellent locations to place your words. We are always in the kitchen because we have 4 kids and they're always eating. And so we have our 6 words right up in our hallway. It's actually on our social media too, because it's that reminder of, right, out of sight, out of mind. But when it's in your sight, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. And EJ and I will have most of our conflicts in the kitchen.
Sure.
And you can just look at that little whiteboard or chalkboard and you're like, oh, that's right. It's just a visual reminder too. So please put these up somewhere. And again, here we go. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. We're just going to start having an organic discussion around what words we want to cultivate in our relationship, maybe for this year. You know, for me, it is for this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I mean, do you have any that jump out at you first, Tara? Or are there any word that you're like, yeah, I do. Okay. All right.
Okay. Wholeness, because it's already our intention.
All right. We'll incorporate
wholeness
that.
For our relationship means that we are always looking at it, right? That even though we get busy at work, even though we're busy with our kids, that we are always looking at our relationship and talking about it, and not talking about it just when we're like, oh, we haven't talked about it or been on a date in 3 months.
Do you think maybe then, to me, wholeness is, first of all, it's like our big word for the year. And maybe it's not as specific, because what I'm hearing you say a little bit is like being really mindful of our relationship or paying attention.
Attention. I like attention because
attention.
Yes.
Like, yeah, that we're attention within our relationship.
How about attentive?
Attentive. Ooh.
Yes.
Attentive to ourselves, to each other, to our relationship.
Yes. Are you okay with that one?
I like attentive.
Okay.
That
See,
feels
we
good.
just came up with our very first word, and it did not take that long.
No.
Okay.
And I think that's how the process oftentimes is for couples when I hear about it, is like the first couple words are a little easier and maybe it gets harder as we go on. So Tara threw out attentive. We should threw out wholeness, and we made our way to attentive. All right, Tara, go again.
I've got another one, only because, yes, we've been super busy. We just developed our second business, which has been amazing for our podcast. But we definitely do not get quality time as much as I would like. So quality time, though, 2 words, I would like to make into 1 word with quality, a little hyphen.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Can I tell a little story? Like
wait, you're okay with quality time?
I love quality time. Okay. Yes. So this morning, like, I made some quality time for us in bed together. So by climbing over our daughter and getting actually lay next to Tara for 20 minutes before I woke up, I was like, Mia, scoot over. And it was, but it.
And I gave you a cuddle score, honey. I'm sorry.
You gave me, you judged my cuddling. You were kind of sweaty. I was like, I liked being next to you, but the sweatiness was a little bit.
Quality time, even when you have a child in your bed, you can make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's that, I mean, for sure. I think for us, quality time together, like, and this is our 6 words about our relationship, not about our family, not about our professional life. Quality time together.
I like that.
Yeah.
Is there anything popping up for you? Because I've got another one popping up for me, but I want to like not take over the whole. Let me take a hit.
And it might be one we've used before, but we just kind of had a playful moment. And it seems like that is something that we need to continue to work on, is playfulness together. I don't know. I threw out a couple years ago, I wanted flirtiness to be, and you were like, I'm not ready for flirtiness.
I might be ready for flirtiness.
Are you ready for flirty?
You got to check in with me. You can't assume that I'm not ready.
Well, I didn't even think about it because I went right to playfulness, but would you be okay? Would you be okay with flirtiness? I know that's a risk.
I'm still working through all my stuff.
What's a risk about it? Help me understand.
I feel like it puts pressure on me. Like if I'm not feeling like any desire, like sexually, that it might put like, oh, I'm supposed to be flirty though. But I'm also working through all of my past trauma, and I do feel more playful, and I do want to be flirty. There's also that feeling of like, oh, but then but then I have to be. Like, it almost feels like a responsibility. And what if I don't? And then I'll feel really bad about myself because what if I'm not there? Maybe I'm not ready. See?
Well, how about if like we have sort of the agreement that flirtiness isn't like, it's not a direct tie to sex. It's not about that.
Okay.
Because like, you know, when I think about flirtiness, I actually think about like when you first met a person and you just wanted to connect and you're kind of like testing the waters to see like, do they want to be playful as well? You know, so to me, it doesn't have a strong tie to sex. Like it has more of just like, you know, just like being light and
I could go there. I'm not going to lie. It definitely brings some anxiety to it, but I'm also open to it. Okay. I'm putting it on.
Well, and I think like my flirting game is probably needs some work as well. So like I'm okay. I think I could own a little bit of insecurity around like trying to be flirty again and doing it in a way that feels really good to you and playful and doesn't put any pressure on you.
Well, I feel like you put that safety container around it. Like flirty doesn't have to be sexual.
Yeah.
It can just be whatever it has to be. And so putting that container in there felt better.
Okay.
Awesome.
Great. Can you give me our words so far just so I remember?
Attentive. Quality time.
Quality time.
And flirty.
All right. We're off to a good start here.
I don't know if this is a word per se, but I like to say it because it sounds cuter. But I also know I feel like it's going to be important, especially after the holidays. Budgety.
Oh.
Not budgeting. That feels super not fun.
I think
but budgety is like a cute.
Well, I hear you're saying is like staying connected
like flirty,
around money.
Budgety.
Yeah.
We can make up our own word. This could become a new word, budgety, to make it kind of fun.
Budget conscious?
No, that's boring.
Too heavy.
I like budgety. Again, it might not be in the dictionary. That's okay.
Okay, well then help. So since it's a new word, since we're creating a new word here, can you help me understand what budgety would look like? So before I agree to it.
It means that we are going to both be mindful that, we have 4 kids that we want to send to college and 2 businesses and, just like being really mindful that I went from 7 days a week Starbucks to 1, okay, maybe 2 this week. 2 is my max because I'm trying in this new year to be more budgety friendly.
Okay.
And I feel like us together, because normally you just say, Tara, it's time to be austere. And I'm like, cool. What does that mean? So I feel like together, if we're both in that place of budgety.
Yeah. I mean, for me, that's a great thing because I always feel bad when I'm like, hey, let's be a little more conscious about money. Let's try not to spend as much this month. I always feel like I'm like being like like a prison warden over our finances.
And it feels that way to me. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Does that mean I can't get a Starbucks? I work hard to get a Starbucks.
So budgety.
Oh, so we just learned something new. You can create your own word that does not exist in the dictionary. It's okay. There's no right or wrong.
Yeah.
Budgety
and I get what you're saying.
Good.
You're saying instead of like budget conscious, because there's like a heaviness and like I got to be aware of it. You're saying, we both know what's going on here.
Yeah,
we're going to be a little more united when it comes to money.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, okay.
So we have our 4 words. We have 2 more. Something about 6 words. It's kind of like the Gottman 6-second kiss.
Yeah.
Let's do like 6 words.
So how about something in the realm of spirituality? Because it's something that it's such an important part for both of us, but also something that both of us sometimes get really disconnected.
I think spirituality, spiritual.
Yeah.
I feel like that resonates with me for sure. Resonates.
We're not making up any more words today, Tara.
It resonates with me. Does that spiritual resonate with you?
Yeah, spiritual would be really great. Yeah.
And that's just connecting with, not necessarily a religion, but just, for me, it's more meditation. And like, I'm really like, I feel like I'm a Buddhist for sure. I do. Like, I haven't studied in great depths, but even when I was like 3 or 4 years old, I remember like, I think I was Christopher Columbus in another life. Like, not that I want to be
I
Christopher
don't think
Columbus.
Christopher Columbus was Buddhist. I think he was.
It doesn't matter, but I'm just saying I
Catholic.
had this idea of past lives, like
okay.
reincarnation.
Oh, I see where you're going.
Yes, that like, oh, like that horse used to probably be like my grandma. Like, who knows? I just had that feeling, and that's very Buddhist-like. And I didn't know what Buddhist was at that time, but I just remember having those. So yeah.
Well, it would be great. It would be so much fun to like have discussions like that with you about spirituality and what our beliefs are, especially, as we get into different phases in our life. I think it becomes more and more important to understand our own, what and why the world works the way it does. But I would love to learn more about you and what you believe.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We've got our 5 words.
I feel like this is going really well. I'm like,
if it doesn't go as well as this, it's okay. We've done this a few times.
Yes. Yeah.
Because if you do, and this is important, because you might, like maybe your partner, this happened last year with us actually on our podcast. We did this podcast before.
Yeah, it wasn't as easy.
And you wanted to have Flirty there, and I was just like discovering some sexual trauma. And I remember like I started to get anxious, and then I started to feel guilty. And then I was like, shame came up, but it's okay. Like, you just catch yourself and just be really honest, and partner, be open to like changing that word. It has nothing to do with you. You're just working together in a very collaborative way to make sure it fits for both of you. And language is important because we definitely take things out of context because we have different ideas about what words mean.
Well, one thing that I think we've done a good job about today is like when one or the other person presents a word that we want to, put on our joint list, is we've asked the other person, help me understand what that word means to you, because then, and that's a whole thing that we foster in our program, what we want to foster out there for you as listeners, is if you can instill curiosity into your relationship.
Yeah.
One, it's, as you can see, like we've been kind of playful today. Curiosity is playful, but there's also like something like we love to have somebody else look at us, especially somebody we love and care for, who genuinely wants to hear more about us. Like it feels good when Tara asks me like, what do you mean by that? I'm like, oh, she cares. Curiosity says you care.
This is why therapy is fun. Like you just get to go and talk about yourself the whole time for like 50 minutes, and like they actually care, hopefully.
Yeah.
If they're a good therapist, they really do care.
Yes. All right, we're at 5 words.
I have an idea for a 6th. You may or may not be okay with it. I'm not sure, but mine would be nature. Like getting out more. We're like indoors a lot because of our, work, and then it's been a little chilly here. And I just find this is why I'm going to start running again in the new year, because I love being outdoors and it's like my little, serotonin, SSRI. Like I just love being outdoors. And so nature and being able to do that with you would feel really awesome.
And might even tie into spirituality a little bit.
I mean, How do you feel about nature?
I feel good about nature. Like, I'll be honest. I feel good about it. As soon as you say it, I have this weird like shame, defensiveness thing I have to be really aware, because it's been something that we have sort of struggled to do. It's been consistently something for you that you've been like, I need to be out in nature more. We need to go on more hikes. And it feels like I'm somehow keeping you from that. And so, but I think it's all the more reason to put it on there. Because it's important to you. I do love to be outdoors, and I don't want to feel like I'm somehow keeping that from you. And I think it would be an awesome thing for us, to do, is spend more time outdoors together. So, well,
what's really cool from what I just heard from you. So now we have 2 words that kind of created a little anxiety, emotional reactivity for both of us: flirty and nature. So. Right? It's good. Challenge is good.
Yeah, we
being uncomfortable is good.
Yeah, we're each stepping a little bit out of our comfort zone with one of the words. It's not that like I wouldn't want nature to be on there, but I'm like just recognizing like, okay, I could see where a month or 2 from now where you're like, we haven't been hiking in 2 months, nature's on the list. I could see then it feeling like, oh, it's my fault.
But we're not going to be doing that if we're attentive.
Yes.
Which is the very first word we created, right?
Yes, yeah.
So we put them up there all in different colors with different colors chalk on our chalkboard today. Yes. I wrote them down on paper, but again, it's going to be important to put them up where you can see them, where you are often at. And again, it's kind of like a vision board or anything. Like you put it out there, there it is, it exists. And the more you get to look at it, hopefully that you get more awareness and presence to what it is that you're trying to cultivate in your relationship.
Absolutely. So we always want to give you some practical steps here, because oftentimes it's just one of the partners listening to this podcast. If this is something that you're like, wow, this 6 words would be fun to do with my partner, or I think it would be a growing experience. The first thing is you look for the right timing and the right atmosphere to bring it up to them. Like, hey, I heard this thing. I'd love to do this together, right? And then maybe each of you have a little bit of a discussion beforehand of like, hey, could this be difficult? Will it be easy? Like, maybe just like sort of talking about what it's going to be like doing it. And then just jumping in and knowing like that like, hey, this is just a positive thing we're cultivating between the two of us. So we know what the real distinguishing, what's the type of relationship that we want to have together.
Yeah. And I just want to say I appreciate you and thank you for being in this life with me and this journey with me and these little tools that we developed together to help our relationship, help ourselves, help our family, but also to help impact others for relationship wellness, because so many people think they can't get through it and high separation divorce rate. But we know like if you learn the skills and you do certain things like these, like it builds resilience and hope. And we are hope holders of couples that don't have hope anymore. And we've seen tremendous outcomes with so many different couples. And so thank you. I guess just thank you for listening to us. I'm always feel grateful that you haven't tuned us out after 5 minutes. Hopefully, if you have, it's cool too. I'm annoyed by my own voice.
Well, if you tuned us out, then they're gone already.
That's true.
Yeah. So please share this episode. Share it with your partner if you're like, hey, I want them to listen to this and hear more about this intervention that might bring us closer together. Share it with a friend or a family member who you're like, wow, this might be some really useful information for them. Give us a rating. We always appreciate that. Give us a like. Just help us achieve what we're trying to do, which is build this like really huge community of people dedicated to individual wellness, dedicated towards having a healthy, loving, secure relationship with their partner. We deserve this. Life is hard, and if we can have a person who we're connected with, we feel safe with, it just makes everything a little bit easier.
That is very true. And again, make these 6 words your own. Remember when we did this with F45, and you can do stickers, making collages. We've had so many different ways that couples have done their 6 words. Make it your own. Just make sure you put it up somewhere. Share feedback, share pictures. We love that. It's awesome. And again, thank you for listening. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.
Bye.